You're just joining us. We're looking at the church in perspective, and guess who is coming to my breakfast table? Dr. Abel Damina. Doctor, thank you for coming. I know that you had to share so many things to.
Thank you, Pastor I.D. James, for having me.
Is it scriptural that we set aside days to mark either his death or his birth?
You know, if you look at the history of Christmas and Easter, they are from pagan festivals. Pagan festivals. They are not even from the Bible. Neither are they from the church. They are from pagan festivals.
It actually came from idolatrous background. That's why you never find us in this church singing what they call Christmas carols. Never said we're going to Christmas retreat. Never. We don't celebrate Christmas.
It was later, many years, that a particular group of people in the Christianity decided to use that same event to mark the birth of Christ. But you know, like I always say, Pastor I.D. James, Christmas is a non-essential. It doesn't make any difference. Whether you observe it or you don't observe it, it does not contribute or subtract to the faith.
I keep asking, I ask very innocent question. Why is there no history about what we are marking? There are history of the early church, and we can't find this.
No, because it's from a pagan festival.
So that means the church has moved into pagan.
Oh, that's what it's been. There's been a lot of idolatry in the church, a lot of idol worship in the church in different forms. And it is because the revelation of Christ is not loud. So since a lot of pastors don't preach Christ enough, they have to substitute the message with something else. So you have all these ceremonies, all these non-essentials, you have all of these things taking the place where Christ should be prominent. And that's why in many churches, many people don't know who Christ is. They can't even explain who Christ is. Neither can they defend who Christ is. So that's why, you know, like Bishop Mike said last few months ago when he came to preach for me, he said Nigeria is still a huge mission field. The gospel has not really been preached in this nation like it ought to be preached. And I agree with him completely.
Okay, so Global Baba, let's, sometimes, just as you would even tell us that Christianity is apostolic and historic.
That's right.
Can we take a look at the history of paganism in church? When? How? Because I'm aware of the post-Constantinian Christianity and the rest. But how did the church become more pagan than Christian?
Well, it started from actually the churches in Asia Minor, even from the Bible in the book of Revelation. If you observe, in the vision that John saw on the island of Patmos, there were warnings to those churches. There's only one church that was not warned, but all the other 6 were warned, and they were warned as it has to do with paganism, idolatry. He says to them, I am putting a warning to you because you have left your first love. You have gone back into what you're not supposed to go back into. Another church, he told them, you have gone back into the doctrine of Balaam and Balak. Another church, he was warning them because they had left Christ. They started going back into idol worship. They started going back into paganism. They started going back into legalism. They started going back into all other things minus Christ. It's only one church that was commended that has not soiled their name, that has not soiled their testimony of Jesus Christ. So it already started even from the apostolic era, before it even got into the Constantine liberation and all that.
Just as Bishop Okonkwo said in the church.
Yeah.
What scale will you rate the church in Nigeria and Christ in perspective?
You know, Pastor E. Adeboye was speaking with us one time. We were having an apostolic meeting in his office, and he said some Americans came to Nigeria and did an analysis on the Nigerian revival, what they call revival in Nigeria. And they said that the Nigerian revival can be measured to be 27 kilometers wide, 1 inch deep. That means there's no revival at all. That means there's nothing happening. What we have is a huge religious body with little Christ.
And it keeps amplifying daily. Because we see a lot of people say that they are called apostles. Somebody even graduates from pastor to apostle to bishop and so on and so forth.
Which is ignorance.
Never said we're going to Christmas retreat. Never. We don't celebrate Christmas. It actually came from idolatrous background. That's why you never find us in this church singing what they call Christmas carols. Never. We always say it's December retreat. It's a December getting together. Just December. We're just gathering together because of the holiday period.